This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX for $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After
40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys. and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. There we go. All right. I like it. That's kind of like when my wife walks into the bedroom, I get enlarged. Good morning. How you guys doing? You doing all right? All right. We are rocking. It is a Friday. Panthers are on the prowl all over town. Come on, baby. Oh, man. It's fun. It's fun. Panthers get you in like a good mood. Hockey players get you in a good mood because let me tell you something. I have had, I've been in this business 35 years, right? And obviously the last 5, I've been so blessed to be on my own platform with Sean, and rest in peace, Bill, miss you, brother. And so, I've had ultimate peace in this business these last 5 years. This is the best I've ever had. But in my other 30, I had the pleasure of being on every beat. I covered every sport there is out there. Soccer too, because I was actually part of the Fusion for a few years. So I not only was a stadium announcer, but I covered the team and actually broke a few stories, including their demise. My favorite beat of them all was being on the Panthers beat. That was my favorite beat. And I got to do the Stanley Cup year and then the year after that. Because when I first got to QAM, I got there with the understanding that I was going to cover the Marlins and the Panthers. Because at that moment, Jody Jackson was covering the Dolphins. And so she had the tenure and she was there. And then she leaves the following year to Arizona. And God bless her. She's been there ever since. She's been in TV there forever. And, she's made a nice career for herself, which is awesome. And she's a really good person on top of all of that. And so then they moved me up to do the Dolphins and the Heat. And that's what I wanted in the first place. That's what I was going to go for. One way or another, that was going to become my beat. And, but as much as I love football, which is my favorite sport, as you all know, and I love basketball too, hockey was my favorite beat to cover because of the dudes. Because they're the same guys. If they win, if they lose, they handle the media stuff, the tough questions, the tough moments with a lot of class. They understand that there's going to be tough questions. They don't act like some of the little bitches we have in baseball, basketball, and football that are just pathetic, dude, really. Just sad. And so when you watch them now party and have a good time, just like you and I would, if we had won whatever championship, or we got a promotion, or we hit the lottery, or whatever it is, or Bitcoin goes to like 3 or 4 million, because if it goes to $1 million, I'll make a couple of dollars, but nothing, I won't be retiring or anything like that. But I don't have the big money. But if I had the big money, okay, get it to 3, 4, 5 million, then maybe I'll make a couple of bucks for my daughter, and she'll be able to, live a decent life, in years down the line,
then we'll celebrate. I'll be in a walker. She'll be celebrating, but whatever, it'll be all good. It'll be all good. So they celebrate just like you and I would. Anything, a wedding, the birth of a child, whatever, right? It's cool. It's really cool to watch them and all the videos out there. You watch Barkov talking and how drunk he is, how that he only has 2 names on his search engine. And one of them is somebody that I don't even know either, that he's kind of in a drunken slur there. And then the other is Sam Reinhart. And he goes, the Reinhart one was by accident. I was putting in this and then brought out Sam Reinhart. And I just hit it. And, just freaking awesome, dude. It was just a lot of fun. And then to watch, if you can, Sean, let's bring up the video of the fans along with the players at Club 11, and they're singing, "We Are the Champions." That's pretty freaking cool. Play.
I think I might have messed up here. Hold on a minute.
Hold on. You got the photo, not the video?
No, this is the video, but they're not singing in this one that I loaded up first. It's just him putting the jersey on.
Oh, no, that's the other one. That's the Reinhart one that he's climbing up a pole with a busted MCL, and he's putting on a Barkov jersey. So you can play that one if you want.
Yep, and then give me a minute, and then I'll get the other one set up. I apologize. I didn't know that they were all in an order. I apologize.
It's all good in the hood, bro. It's all fun. So here is Sam Reinhart climbing a pole where and then they're lowering a Barkov jersey, which he grabs off and then he puts it on. And mind you, this guy's got a fucked up leg. So, it's too much. Go ahead, man. Just roll. This is funny. Club 11 was the Club 11 was the place to be. That was the place to be. This is Mantronics with MCT. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went into my 80s mode there. Yeah, that was a trip. That was an absolute trip, man. That was really, really cool. That was really cool. Good morning again to one and all out there. I see Dolphin Dave. Thank you, sir. Jamie Zorria in San Jose, NorCal. Oscar Rojas, Jeff in Long Island. Steven Gonzalez, I see. Thank you. Brian Radke, thank you. Stephen Harris. Lexus Palenzuela, true Finn fan. And here they are now singing "We Are the Champions" with the players.
I ain't fucking leaving.
All right, well, all right, so, apparently Sean didn't take the time to check any of the videos and see which one is which. Okay, so that one, all right, was Sam Bennett. That was going to be kind of the crescendo. I kind of wanted to get to the crescendo of all of this. But Sam Bennett at Club 11 last night made the declaration that he's not effing leaving. Okay. And, one of the things that if you've watched, do the Panthers allow their really good players to walk away? It's like every year, oh, is this guy going to leave? Is that guy going to leave? And they don't. And Verhage stays, and Barkov stays, and Reinhardt stays, and they keep every time there's like a big name that, oh my God, you'll lose a couple of other names, but you're not losing the main players. And so when I hear, oh, Toronto's going to go after all three, and then this team's also, and Sportsnet is reporting this, and TSN is reporting that, and I'm like, dude, this is Viola. Like, have you guys watched what's going on? Yeah, you sent me something yesterday, Sean, about Zito, and it's like, we're going to spend to the cap. And I'm thinking the Bennett thing is not even a discussion. I didn't need to hear him say that yesterday. Like, who didn't know he was going to stay? Why would he leave? He's established himself here. He's an absolute stud. He's in Florida. He's in South Florida. He's with his buddies. He's won multiple championships. He's in a great place. He's watched other guys go off, and he knows they're now, yeah, sure, you got paid, dude, but you're not in a better spot. And you sent Bennett. The argument, the discussion, the back and forth, whatever you guys want to call it, it's the other guys. It's Marchand and Ekblad. That's the discussion. And when you're paying Kulikov and you're paying what's this guy called? Forsling, you're paying him a fraction of what you're paying what's it called? Ekblad. And he gets the same kind of production Forsling does than Ekblad does. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Ekblad's missed a shit ton of games. He hasn't played a complete season since. Can you look it up for me, Sean? I want to say Ekblad hasn't played a complete season since 18. We're in 25. Yeah, I want to say it's 18 or 19, something like that, the 18-19 season. Maybe 19. But it's been a long time since he's played. And when he played last, I believe he played complete seasons and back-to-back pretty much, or close to it, the 82 games or whatever he played, 82, 80, 79. That's pretty damn good. In hockey, it's freaking phenomenal. I want to say it's been a while. Yes, sir.
You missed it by a year. 18-19, he played 82. And then in 19-20, played 67. And then he's been pretty much, except for 22-23, played 71. Everything else has been pretty much under that.
No, I threw 19 in there right now before you put out the stats. Right. At 18, 19, something like that. So, okay. Yeah, and the year before that, he played well.
He had 82. Actually, before – so in 2014 and 15, it was 81, then 78, then 68 in 16-17, and then 82 in 17-18, 18-19, and then he started dropping a little bit in 19-20.
Right. And so and then he had PEDs. To me, I'm Bill Zito. Obviously, he's, much better looking and all that, but I'm saying I'm Bill Zito. I've got the magic touch right now. Not that he says that, but he's got a lot of confidence in what he's doing. I can go find a defenseman for a fraction of that. I'm going to let Aaron. I'm going to thank him. And by the way, he's leaving with 2 championships and 3 straight trips to the title and, great memories and all that. But what have we talked about, folks? Okay, what have we talked about on this show for several years now. What have we talked about? Getting off the gravy train, correct? It's not something that we don't do it on foresight. I mean, we do it all on foresight, not on foreskin, not on hindsight, not on anything. We do it all on foresight. Look at the Heat now. Should they have traded Tyler Hero at the trade deadline? Yeah. Because now he got exposed by NBA players. Yeah, we'll just attack him. So he actually ruined his value as you kept the season going. And now you're going to keep him and try to get Durant, which that's a whole other clown-ass subject we'll get to eventually. But you should have gotten off that bandwagon. You should have gotten off Jimmy Butler, just like we've talked about the Dolphins. They didn't get off the Tyreek thing last year. They ended up guaranteeing the money for this year, and they got screwed. And then a few years back, the X-Men stuff. Here we go. You cannot get married. It's been a great run, Aaron Ekblad. It's been fantastic. Hold on a second. Sean, give me like a 15-second, 30-second spot right there, please. You can.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed. They're breaking into my house! Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop. No, not the TV! Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you. Get out of my house! Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
And by the way, if you do call 1-800-ALARM-ME and you tell them that Big O sent you, you will get a free doorbell camera. So, there he is. Aaron Ekblad. I don't know, see? I just don't have it displayed. I want to redo this whole thing, put some shelves and put out all this stuff, including Aaron Ekblad. It's time. It's time to part ways. It's just time, okay? And no, I'm not giving it away or anything. I'm going to display it. I appreciate everything he's done. The Panthers should appreciate everything he's done. Honor him down the line or something as part of these Panthers teams. I mean, we're going to build. We got to build some kind of hockey Florida Panther Hall of Fame now. You know what I'm saying? So we can honor the 96 team and their accomplishments and what they meant. And then obviously some of the great players throughout, and Pavel Bure and some of the others that we've had. And then obviously we're going to have to honor this team, and Aaron Ekblad will be honored at that time. He will be cherished. He will be brought back to be honored when we raise each banner and honor these teams in future years. We're going to embrace Aaron Ekblad and everything he brought to the table. But if you're going to be competent, if you're going to be a team that is going to continue to move forward and stay on the cutting edge, because everybody now, you've got the entire league looking to knock your ass out. You're going to have to turn over players. And they proved to me when they made the Huberdeau move that they're willing to do the hard stuff. You know, sometimes the Heat and the Dolphins, they get nostalgic and they get too attached and too sticky, like you fans. And so while I'm a fan, I have a job to do here. I have to try to be objective. Am I going to be right? No, dude, I'm going to screw up and I'm going to get some stuff wrong. But I'm going to get a lot of shit right sometimes. And right now is the time to say we won without Aaron Ekblad when he was out for 20 games. And then he got suspended for a couple more in the playoffs, and we were cruising. Meanwhile, Brad Marchand filled in for the void that Kachuk wasn't. because while Kachuk had a very good playoff run and a playoff series, final series and everything, he was super productive, had the game winner and everything. He wasn't really himself. So what Marshawn added, and you can't buy that. You cannot buy that. And you watch all the stuff going on in town with that man and this team and the vibe with the fans, the fun he's having. I bet when he won the championships with Boston, I don't think he had this kind of fun. I don't think he's vibing in Boston like he vibes here. And if I'm Florida, I want that son of a bitch for 2 more years on this team. Yeah. Hockey players, the ones that take care of themselves and the ones that are focused, they last a while, bro. They can last. They can play deep into their 30s easily, maybe up to 40, maybe early 40s, because they're smart. And if they're tough and durable, which he's not, he's had his share of injuries. I think you'll get him at a decent, I think he's the kind of guy that is willing to take a little less so he can accommodate what is going on here. So that's why you saw yesterday Sam Bennett. Let's play the video again of Sam Bennett if we got it. Okay. This is Sam Bennett yesterday in Club 11, and he kind of slows down. Do you have if you
this
can get
is the one with everybody singing, because it's Sam. It's just another angle of the one I played and a little bit longer.
Of Sam Bennett saying I'm staying.
It's Sam Bennett saying it, and then they start singing. The one I played originally was the
Right.
shorter version of it and a clearer version of Sam Bennett saying,
Right.
That's
And
where
this
the confusion. I thought you sent me 3 of the same one, so my fault.
This is the one from above, right?
Yeah, this is the one where everybody starts singing with the team, I believe, is what you're referring to. When I looked at them, this is the one I think you're talking about.
Another one I sent you of, and we'll find it after, but there's another one I sent you of Sam Bennett where he's saying I'm staying, but it's a look from above when he says it, and it shows the reaction from the fans. Find that one, but let's play this one for now as they chant, "We are the champions."
I ain't fucking leaving.
One times at Club 11 last night. That was good. That was good shit. I definitely am too old to do that stuff already, I'm good watching it, watching the videos, and I'm fine with that. I'm all right with that. But being there, yeah, I'm a little past that already at this point. All right. By the way, how are the markets doing since we just opened about an hour ago, just under an hour? 147 points up for the Dow. The S&P's up about 9.5 points. The NASDAQ is up about 0.5 point. Bitcoin right now is, I think it's still like a 105.6 right now. It did hit 106 earlier in the morning, but yeah, it's been flirting around the 104 area, and now it's at the 105 area today. We'll see if we'll get more. We have a lot of what's it called, expiring Ethereum and Bitcoin, what's it called, longs and stuff that are expiring today. So we'll find out how that affects the market too at the same time. True FinFan says, I will not repeat, do not be surprised if the Pacers pull off the upset. I said it before, I'll say it again. This isn't as wide open as most of you thought it was. Hope I win the 100. I bet on the Pacers. Well, the Thunder should have won this series, right? Based on what has happened throughout the year and the record and all of that. Now, the Pacers were just as hot as the Thunder in the second half of the season. It's the first half where they had a mediocre first half. It's the second half where they've been phenomenal, and obviously the playoffs. But we're down to a seventh game. And when you're down to a seventh game, it's anybody's game. Anything can happen. OKC has a bad shooting night, Pacers win. Injuries happen, OKC, Pacers win. So lots of things can happen. Pacers can just come in super hot. OKC can play a good game, and Pacers can outplay them. All of these things can happen. Then again, OKC's home, and this has been a series where one team plays well and then the other team plays well in the next game, and it's kind of a back and forth. And this is a product of being average. This is a product of parity. This is a product of there are no great teams. And you don't have a great team in the NBA Finals. That's all. Now, while SGA is definitely a pros pro, a great player, a franchise player. Doesn't mean that his team is great. You know what I'm saying? And then the Pacers, Halliburton has his great moments. Obviously, he's injured, so he did what he could do yesterday. And Siakam and Obi Toppin and all of these guys were just amazing. And the Great White Hope, of course. They have their moments where they play great as a team. They come together, There's a real chemistry that Indiana has. But the bottom line is there are no great teams. And so since there are no great teams, you give anybody a puncher's chance. So, yeah, True FinFan, you totally have a chance at winning this bet, and you should have gotten great odds too if you had the odds from the beginning. Let's see. Cosa Nostra, everything 305. Jay Ellingsworth, Juan Rosa. One-Eyed Jack, thank you for the props. I saw the shirt. I had to have it. Just one of those things. It's one of my favorite cartoons growing up. I thought the shirt was kind of cool. So I figured I'd wear it. What the hell? Ray Grullon. Thank you, sir. Go Speed Racer. I have one that I want to display, and I can't display it. I'm seeing it from here. I have a Mach 5. I really do. I just can't display it because I have all these things that I want to set up for the new background, but I haven't done the new background yet. And the new background is going to have sports and pop culture and, all kinds of different things. Because obviously in this show, we will talk about all kinds of different things, not just sports. So I wanted to change it a little bit and add stuff that would go with it. Bitcoin stuff will be back there, all that kind of. I have I'm looking at it in my closet from here. I can see a bunch of the stuff that I have, and I can't display it because I haven't been really too lazy to because I want to put another camera on this side. And so I kind of then can go a little bit wider and, all that. And then kind of look this way. And then you guys can see more stuff this way because I have a bunch of stuff that I have to display. But I have to first set up the shelves and all that kind of stuff in order for them to sit. And I'm not the most, crafty person or anything like that. As you can tell, I just kind of put all that shit together. There's no craftiness there. It's just, okay, I'll stack this here, there, ba, boop, boop, bang, and that's it. And it's a mishmash, you know what I'm saying? I need like some real organization. But yeah. I got a killer Mark 5, bro, that I'm dying to display. But what are you going to do? Anyway, what else do we have? One-Eyed Jack, Juan Rosa. I guess the Speed Racer shirt is a hit for a lot of you. Yes, everything 305. Bill was an amazing person, bro. Yes, he was. When you lose your best friend, it's up, man. Like it's your brother. It's somebody you spent all the time with, doing everything, dude. Going every trip, going every moment, sporting event, whatever it was, dude. Like you lose that void, and then you cannot replace it. It's fucked up. Didn't see Holly pulling an Isaiah Thomas Hall of Fame. No, he did not. But hey, the team played out of their minds. Siakam was, posterizing his own teammates. So, it was good. It was good. Lenny Pena is out there having some fun. Those pesky Pacers, yes, sir. 305 Sports, Magnus. John Padilla, Ty in the Bronx. Rosendo, good morning to you, sir. As we start the summer, bless us with joy as we set out for our days of vacation. Let them bring us rest and refreshment. Give us gentle weather and peaceful times. Amen to that, sir. 305 Sports, thank you for the love on the super chat. I'm not sure what Zito will do, but I support it. The guy is the anti-Dolphin. Yeah. He knows how to push all the right buttons. And for me, the right button is to say, goodbye. Goodbye, Adam. We love you. We love you, Adam. You did fantastic work for us, But we're going to find other defensemen in free agency, and we'll be fine. We cannot pay $7 million for you. So, you're paying Gustav Forsling like $750, $1 million. And what's the difference between the two? Go look at the numbers, not much. So you cannot justify the future of Aaron Ekblad. Okay? You cannot. You have to keep Brad Marchand. And let me tell you, Brad Marchand is the guy you want to keep because he's a hell of a lot smarter than I am. He goes to Dairy Queen and doesn't have a hot dog. This dumbass, well, you can tell that he's not a dummy like me. He's a smart man. No hot dogs at Dairy Queen. Blizzards. That's what you're supposed to do. Don't forget, folks, all your Panther gear, whatever, Inter Miami gear. They surprised Porto last night. I was shocked. That was awesome. I was like this. I was like, oh man, we're going to get embarrassed. We're going to get embarrassed. I was afraid of an ass kicking, and they actually pulled it off. I think it was kind of fluky, but hey, bro, I'll take it, man. It doesn't matter. 2-1, they won. They created history. We'll get into that later and all that. But any kind of gear you need, and all the championship gear, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off at caneswear.com, online or in person. Time to talk football with the one and only David Furones and our Welch and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. How you doing, my man? You doing good?
I'm doing great. I was just at 11 Miami last night covering the Panthers celebration with the Stanley Cup. So I'm on little sleep right now because I was out late at night into the wee hours of the morning checking that out. And then threw up a story and everything. You can check out all the videos. It was a wild scene out there.
Are you sure that's the only thing you threw up?
Threw up. All right, I can handle myself. All right, I'm not throwing up over this. All right, I'm born and raised in Miami.
I'm just asking. You were at Club 11 last night. I mean, I was just talking.
I got it under control.
See how our lives have changed.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, I might have been at Club 11 and then throwing up after. But now I end up talking about Brad Marchand, who goes to have a blizzard, but my stupid ass eats a hot dog from Dairy Queen, and I'm throwing up all over the place. So that's why I ask. See, because I don't throw up because of alcohol anymore. I throw up because I'm stupid and I ate something that I shouldn't eat in a place that I shouldn't eat. Hey, I'm in the panhandle of Florida. I'm hungry. Let me eat at a Dairy Queen and let me get a hot dog. That was not a good idea on my part.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you weren't out of the realm of reason there. I mean, I think you could have assumed you could get by with a hot dog. That must have been a bad one there that got to you, but you do. Well, yeah, when it comes to alcohol, you learn really fast. Like that first time, you're no longer up to it. Like I think. Coming back from COVID when I wasn't going out anymore at all. And then it was like the first time you try to really like have a night where you go out drinking. Oh no, it catches up to you. Like you realize really quick, you lost your tolerance for it.
Yep. I'm with you there. No doubt about it, brother. All right. So Sam Bennett, I was just talking about this and you can, go with me on this one. And again, this is never hindsight. Like I'll repeat it over and over again. I told them to trade X after the 10 interceptions. I told them, do not guarantee Tyreek the money. You got to get off the bandwagon when you're supposed to. Trade Jimmy right after that second trip to the finals. Go get 4 or 5 first-rounders. You effed up and you're screwed up. Trade Tyler Hero at the deadline. You didn't. Yeah, he stayed healthy, but now he got exposed because other teams say, oh, yeah, no, we just attacked Tyler. So now his value's down again. So, you got to know when to get off the gravy train. And for me, you got to get off that gravy train. Aaron Ekblad.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get off Ekblad. And Bennett, to me, the history for the Panthers is they don't lose their top players. They keep them all. We end up going, are they going to keep Reinhardt? Are they going to keep Verhaeghe? And they keep all of them, dude. Every single one of them, they end up re-signing. So I know Bennett's going to come back. So yesterday when he made that declaration, it was fun, but I wasn't really shocked. The decision is Marchand and Ekblad. And we got to stop with where we get too attached to players. We have to learn at times. We have to part ways and do what's best. The injury to Kachuk this year, and he wasn't himself. To have Marchand there was an incredible insurance policy. And because of his injury history, I think you could get Marchand cheaper and you could get rid of Ekblad and find a defenseman that can do his job. Remember, Gustav Forsling makes like $1 million a year, or 800,000 or whatever, and the numbers between him and Ekblad are pretty similar. So you cannot pay this guy any more, $7 million and $6 million or whatever. I think you got to move away from Ekblad. That's my case. The ball's in your court.
Hey, I hear you, and it's easy to grow attached to players, especially once they win a Stanley Cup or any title in any sport with your team. And with Ekblad, I mean, came up with the Panthers as now a decade plus with the franchise, so it's easy to grow attached. And maybe right now the Florida fan base is more attached to a Sam Bennett and a Brad Marchand, where they have this historic postseason run, and especially Marchand in the Stanley Cup final. So probably more so, yes, I agree. Focus on those guys. And then Ekblad, hey, this front office has proven they can find quality defensemen. Forsling was an incredible find when they did, and has developed into an extraordinary piece. So, yeah, I mean, I trust Seth Jones bringing him in. So, yeah, I trust them to find the defenseman that they need, and you don't need to pay top dollar to necessarily keep a Ekblad. But right now, yeah, Bennett making that declaration, he's the focal point. And then, boy, let me tell you, Marchand was having a hell of a time in his own right and has been this whole celebration. So I think he might like it down here. I think he might like it.
He looks comfortable. He looks like he's really embraced the culture of the Panthers and these guys. And then did he have this kind of fun when he won the cup then? I don't think so, bro. We just party different down here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a really comfortable place to work if you're a hockey player, because the ownership's top notch, the general manager's top notch, the head coach is top notch. Plus, he's class. He has his awareness of how to manage men and personalities and everything. Dude, it's a rarity actually to see that. And so I think if you're Marchand, you're like, holy shit, the fans have embraced you. Why would you go anywhere at this point? And I think he'll take a little bit of a discount so he can help them create that culture here and continue it, actually.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, he's 37. He's made a solid career earnings throughout his career. I mean, just keep riding it, baby. And you've seen the party, Brad Marchand. Just stick it out right here. It wasn't like that in Boston when you were in your 20s partying for that Stanley Cup. Now you're 37 and you're in this Miami party.
And wherever he goes, he might make a little more money. But now he's got to move again and move his family and get situated again. And wherever he goes, there's no way he's going to have this. And he knows that if he busts his ass in the next 2 years, he's going to have a shot at doing this again once or twice. You know, he knows it. I think my prediction is I knew they were going to keep Bennett. That was no surprise. I think it's Marchand over Ekblad. I really do, bro. I really do.
And to boot, the no state income tax whole stipulation here in Florida. So I know Canadians want to give Florida a hard time, or the NHL a hard time, because so many players come down here and claim that this is a huge part of why the Lightning won those Stanley Cups before the Panthers, and then now the Panthers are on a run. But it is what it is. It happens in other sports too. So. All those other teams.
How come the Dallas Stars aren't dominating right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, they made a deep run, but not like the Panthers.
Nashville is a no-tax state. There's a lot of no-tax states. So we're not the only ones, dude. And we sucked before. They won't come if you don't create this environment. If you don't have the right owner, the right general manager, and the right coach, you know, and a commitment to everything else, you know, and that's what Viola and Sifu do, bro. They have just a crazy ass commitment to winning, and players see that too. That's why We didn't have this before. That was the problem. We didn't have this. And when the last time we had it, when we resembled it, it was Huizenga with Bobby Clark. And they got to the finals because you had a semblance of what you needed at the top in order to succeed. You know, you had management that knew what the hell they were doing with Bill Torrey and Bobby Clark. And then you had, obviously, you know, in Huizenga, and you had good results. You know, Huizenga, the poor man, couldn't succeed in football, but his baseball team won, his hockey team won, and, you know, he just couldn't get it done in football. But it wasn't from a lack of trying. You know what I mean? And I think now the Panthers have that. They have just great ownership, great leadership. Period.
Yeah. And those runs, I mean, for franchises established, you mentioned the Marlins and the Panthers in 1993. Panthers, 96 are in the Stanley Cup final, historic run, year of the rat. And then Marlins winning it all in 97 against the Indians. So some pretty immediate success for two expansion franchises in the 90s. And it shows, hey, there's a formula, right? Like for so many years, no one could have imagined the Panthers would get back to this or get to this because, yeah, getting back to the Stanley Cup final of 1996 is one thing. Now winning back-to-back and being whatever you want to call it, whether it's a dynasty now, whether it's on the verge of a dynasty, whether they're vying for it. The dynasty word is now at least being thrown around, and it's a conversation now and something that they can definitely solidify if they do it again for a third straight year. So it does – I know it's like impossible to imagine the Marlins, it ever happening with them, but if they get the right guys to lead it, then you never know if it could just go right back the same way it once was with those 97-03 teams. But yeah, it's very difficult to see that in the current state.
So you would do the same thing I would. You'd let Ekblad go and try to keep Marchand, and Bennett's obviously staying.
Yeah. You've convinced me. I mean, I read Dave Hyde's story on his talk with GM Bill Zito on the ice after the cup was clinched, and talking about that it's possible they bring all three of them back. But I mean, if one were to go, then I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, and but you see Marchand and how close he was to being the Conn Smythe Trophy. Sam Bennett actually being the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Yeah, you have to prioritize them, even if Brad Marchand might be 37 and a little bit of an injury history of recent, but just seeing what he did these Stanley Cup playoffs, yeah, you got to.
Yeah, his impact is just too much. All right, on the Dolphins side, so how's the action going there in the Jalen Ramsey sweepstakes?
Yeah, I don't think anything new's going on. Is this the point where you bring back up? Well, I heard.
I'll wait till next week to add a new joke to the Adam Schefter. Okay. I already added a good one for the week, I think, on Wednesday. I'll come up easily with another one next week when there is no movement whatsoever. And, you know, this is the real question. This one was just to F around with you and have some fun. As this drags on, what is happening now, it is actually putting the Dolphins every day. It puts them in a worse position, and their leverage, they lose more. And in fact, they have no leverage now, but they're in a more uncomfortable position because you start getting closer to training camp, and the last thing you want is to have this guy be forced to come to camp or whatever, or maybe you do have to do this, but it's becoming uglier for you as time moves on, in other words.
And it looks like it's holding up business because you still need to sign a starting caliber cornerback in this free agency class. And there are some out there still remaining available. Whether it's waiting on the Dolphins, waiting for another domino to fall. I mean, yeah, these guys now have another month or so before training camp to make a decision, but these dominoes have to fall. possibly Jalen Ramsey not having that trade in place is now holding up signing that cornerback who is going to come in and be your starter, which immediately you probably have him as your cornerback number one, and then Cater Coe, who has that versatile. In an ideal situation, he would be your third cornerback, where he's the slot and the nickel. But I mean, out of necessity, he's going to be your second, probably still playing mostly covering the slot. But and then you need either Cam Smith or Storm Duck to elevate themselves and be that other outside option, with the possibility this Kendall Sheffield that they signed, who does have some experience in the league but hasn't been a starter or a primary contributor for several years. He had a decent OTAs and minicamp portion of the offseason program, so you might need him to step up. Any of those other young guys between Ethan Bonner and Jason Maitre and Isaiah Johnson, you also have them vying for a spot. Artie Burns, of course, is a veteran, but at this stage, you're not counting on him to really provide that. But yeah, it's holding up business, and now we're getting to about a month away from camp, and still this lingers, and I'm almost to a point where I'm just like, I'm not following up on it all the time. Like, it's just like I've wasted 2 months just on edge over this, and just kind of like, all right, when it happens, but it's got to happen in the next month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no choice. They're going to have to find a way to give them away. But the problem is, I think they're going to force them to eat a lot of that salary if they really want to unload it. And that's where that could limit them even more on what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's where you kind of need to know where you stand financially, so that you know what you can offer these corners, because as you trade them, you're taking part of that hit. Now, at least now, since it is post June 1, then that $9.9 million that you do obtain from trading him post June 1, that helps. But now either a chunk of that, maybe even all that, I don't know if I dare to say more than that, is going to go to eating up some of the salary for another team. So that'll be the key number once we do see whatever it does transpire.
All right. Anything else going on?
Yeah, I'm going to be out at the parade. Actually, we have a call pretty soon here. Sun Sentinel coverage plan. Figure out what everyone's doing, where everyone's going to cover the parade on Sunday for the Panthers.
Are you guys going to carpool the bitch there, right? Like all of you in one car? Because if you all got to go find parking in that place, oh my God.
I've already seen some emails about how difficult that'll be. So I'm dreading that part of it.
This is where I just don't miss that part of the business, bro. This is where I just don't miss any of this. It's like the other day I was driving the car and I turned on QAM, and the guys, I think it was Jeremy and Channing, and I don't know why they had a Marlin player on or something. And I'm like, oh my God, they had to interview a Marlin player. I'm like, oh, wow.
They cover it all, baby. They cover it all.
Yeah, no, but you can't pay me enough to interview a Marlin player, bro. You know what I mean? No, dude, you can't. That was obviously some kind of something there, but whatever.
Come on, I'm sure Xavier Edwards is a great interview. South Florida kid. I remember covering him at North Broward Prep when I covered high school.
Yeah, nice. I'm sure it's a nice kid and all that stuff, but nobody wants to hear from the Marlins. Nobody cares about the Marlins. It's just boring shit to talk about. And so, for me, that's the beauty. I get to do whatever the hell I want. Whatever really is interesting, we'll talk about. Whatever is not, we're going to stay away from. And not that the parade's not interesting. It's interesting to watch on TV and relax, but to cover it, I commend you, bro, because, oh my God, I've covered my share of parades. But you know what? I got to say, that's harder than what I've covered, because covering it on Biscayne or on Flagler, like for ones or the Marlin ones, it wasn't like that. Like the Fort Lauderdale one, that one's going to be really tough where they have the parade at, bro. They're holding it in a tough spot of our town because it's just bridges and it's an island in order to access it all. It's just, oh God, dude, it's a nightmare, bro. It's a nightmare. You know, when you go to downtown, it's not a nightmare because you can metro rail in, you can park in all kinds of different places. It's freaking downtown Miami. There's all kinds of parking all over the place, and then there's all kinds of veins to get the hell out of there. You know, you're a Miami kid like I am.
South, you go north, west,
get through Flagler and all kinds of ways. We don't care. We get right out of there quickly, But that's a challenge where you're going, bro. Because I've covered the air show. I remember for Radio
Mambi.
Radio Familiar.
Familiar.
Yeah, we were the Heat and the Kane station.
Oh.
Radio Acción 8:30 AM. So I had La Ensalada Deportiva, and I remember having to cover some of those that for them or for wins, covering some of those those parades. But it was at the air show. Oh my God! Once it's like a Roach Motel. Once you get in, you can't get out until it's like really over because it's so bad.
Boy. So all right. So I remember the Heat parades were Biscayne Boulevard, and then I was younger when the Marlins won those. So I didn't have
Dade and Broward. They were in Dade and Broward, if I remember correctly. They might have even had a Palm Beach one actually.
Oh yeah, they did separate ones, right?
Yeah,
this is the Marlins you're saying?
Yeah, the Marlins. The Canes were on Flagler, up and down by the courthouse.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember celebrating with the Canes up and down Flagler, and then they would talk at the courthouse and stuff like that. I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Marlins, the first Marlins parade was in 97. 03, they did it in multiple areas. I think in 87, I think Huizinga did it on Flagler also with the courthouse, and then he did one in Broward. But I think in 03, they did Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't cover the Palm Beach. I only covered Dade and Broward.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool if the Panthers could pull that off, because I know it's been kind of Fort Lauderdale Beach. Now I know that's kind of like their hub too. And sometimes you wonder like how much of the Miami-Dade County fan base has picked up hockey. I think right now much more than before. Watching back-to-back Stanley Cups. Yeah, hey, they were out at La Carreta on Bird Road, banging the pots and pans, honking horns, even fireworks. I saw. In
no overturned cars.
Right.
Interesting, huh? How we do. I'm just saying how we know how to party. All our championships, there are no riots. We're not tearing people's neighborhoods down. We're not destroying property. We're not destroying businesses. We're not assaulting anybody. None of that goes on here. It's pretty amazing. Why is that?
I was just going to say, because we know here that we can go let out our party energy going to places like 11 where the Panthers are having the time of their lives, and you don't need to go out on the street and channel that energy in that way. You just know where to party and how to handle yourself, party responsibly.
I gave my theory. I think it's the Cuban vibe, bro. Yeah. So let me ask you something. When Cubans protest, do they tear up their neighborhoods? Do they overturn trucks? Do they overturn cars? Are they fighting with the police? Does any of that happen? Do we just go to Versailles and Coretta? Do we go to the tower, the Freedom Tower? Do we go to the Torch? And then we say our piece and we go home, right? That's kind of what it is, right? Pots and pans. By the way, that's where it originated.
Mm-hmm.
The pots and pans came from Cuban protests.
Oh, okay.
Okay? They came from Cuban protests. And then they were brought into championship celebrations. And so if you look at it, Okay. The largest immigrant community in South Florida is probably Cuban since the, 60s and on. So they've had a lot of influence here. And I know I'm Cuban, so I'm being a little biased on all of this. But I'm going to back my effing people up when I see them that they know how to protest better than pretty much everybody else in the goddamn country. Okay? And so, since Cubans dominate in South Florida, and that's a big vibe, and by the way, props to the Venezuelans. I saw them protest. I didn't see them fighting and creating havoc. So I'm just saying, our vibe, okay? Bro, we have Coyote every year. There's probably a couple of arrests, but it's not riots or anything. And that's blocks and blocks of Hispanics just having some fun. That's Carnival. I'm just saying that Cuban, that Latin vibe kind of adds to our celebrations, and they resemble
between the Heat and the Panthers party styles, very different.
All right, I got a heart out here for a meeting.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, but no, I hear you though.
Right? It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. All right, what do you got going to Sentinel since you got to go for the Sentinel?
Yeah, covering the parade on Sunday, and then probably get back to some Dolphin stuff next week, and take some time off too. Got to take some time off.
All right, get your ass to work.
All right, sounds good. Have a good weekend,
my brother. Much love. All right, there you go. David Feronis, Welt and Rayom, 954-966-4646. If you need anything, folks, I'm telling you, they help you in so many ways. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, 954-966-4646. And by the way, we are in storm season. And if something, God forbid, I hope we don't get hit by any storms, but there's a chance. And even if we don't get hit by storms, we get hit by torrential downpours and they could cause leaks and issues. Never call the insurance companies. You call Welton Rayom first. They have their own adjusters. 954-966-4646. Hour number 2 is next. Manny Navarro kicks it off with our BigCheeseMiami.com NIL and recruiting report.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Feronis. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All right. Before we start our segment, Skylar Tipton, just so you know, my brother, you're on double secret probation on the show.
All right.
No. Okay. When I talk about something, make sure you're talking about what I'm talking about. When you change the subject, because so you'll know, Manny, I say that our championship celebrations, which are violence free, are they not?
Yeah, I can't remember of anything bad happening in any of them.
All of them.
Right.
Canes, Marlins, doesn't matter. The Dolphins don't count because it was a completely different world in the 70s. Back then, nobody ever did any of that. All right. So my theory is it's the Cuban community. All of our protests since the 80s, there's no violence. We don't set any fire. We don't turn over anything. We don't destroy other people's properties. We don't do any of that. We bring out the pots and pans.
That's right. The pots and pans make it very joyous. And I got to say that in general, there's not a lot of that kind of stuff in our community, man. We're kind of blessed, right?
Right. But that's where the pots and pans started, in the protest, not in the championships that came out.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got Skylar Tipton saying, well, Cubans voted for Trump. Well, so what, bro? I didn't vote for him, but who cares?
Right.
What does that have to do with protesting like decent human beings since the 80s? So Skylar Tipton, my brother, I don't care how loyal you've been, my brother. Okay. Learn to listen and learn to respond to things that are talked about. Okay. Because I don't care about Biden or Trump. I think they're both clowns. Okay. But I'm going to give people credit when it's due. All right, my brother. So either you stay on subject. Okay. So if you're butthurt about something else, don't bring it out and be careful. You'll get called out here. I don't give a shit who you are, bro. I don't care how long you've been on this platform. I don't give a fuck. You will get called out here. Got it? So what you got to do is be a little man about it and admit, oh, I was wrong. I said something that had nothing to do with what you were talking about. My bad. That's what I need to hear. Outside of that, shut the fuck up. Let's go. All right, my brother. How you doing? You doing good?
Doing good, oh. Beautiful summertime. I get to spend a lot of time doing my my off-season research, getting ready for the football season in a couple of weeks. I'm doing those roster breakdowns for every Power 4 team, and let me tell you, man, there's so much turnover in college football now. It's incredible, the amount of I mean, you're talking about 50 plus players changing every single year now, where before, right, it used to be 25. You signed 25 guys in your recruiting class and that's it. Now it's double, sometimes triple that when there's a coaching change. So it's incredible the amount of roster turnover. And so I came out with my first top 25 player list, and there were a lot of people who were like, who are half these guys, you know?
Well, we got a big recruiting weekend
going
now. So talk to me a little bit where the Hurricanes stand right now.
Yeah, look, their top 10 recruiting class, according to 247 Sports. They're number 10, 13 commitments in the class. Very heavy on offensive line. Six offensive linemen committed, including the number 1 kid in the country out of Missouri. They've got a quarterback in Darian Coleman. They've got 3 guys in the secondary, but there's still some needs for the Canes to be met, particularly on the defensive line. They need some edge rushers. They need some wide receivers. And they've got a couple guys who could be joining the class pretty soon. There's 3 guys I wanted to mention to you, as potentially landing in the class here. Top guy is 4-star tight end Israel Briggs from Visalia, California, Redwood High School. He's announcing his commitment next Tuesday. He was supposed to go to Texas A&M this weekend, canceled that trip. So it's basically LSU or Miami for him. The Hurricanes don't have a tight end left in this yet in this class, but they could potentially sign as many as 2. And I think Israel is probably going to be the first one who they get in the commitment class. Of course, kids can't sign until December. Then 2 other guys to watch that just visited Miami recently and could be joining the class. They're both 3-star recruits. One of them is a linebacker, Justin Edwards from Orlando Edgewater. He's been committed to Rutgers for a while. But he visited last weekend, Coral Gables, and all signs are pointing to him flipping. The last one, Tyron Evans from Cornelius, North Carolina. He's a former Tennessee commitment, decommitted from them 2 days ago, visited Miami June 13. Put the dominoes together of what's going to happen. He's going to probably end up a Hurricane. So those are the 3 guys that could be next to commit in this class.
All right. I like that. All right. And, what I respect, dude, they're building this thing up. And if this kid can play and not turn over the ball and be a pretty good quarterback, man, just make good decisions on Saturdays. And I have no hope for the Dolphins this year. None whatsoever. Okay. But Mario doesn't need to change how he does, like how he carries himself. He's going to be the same guy. He's been the same hard ass. He's been the same tough love guy. He's been the same commitment guy, hard work guy, all that. In Miami Gardens, you got to go from Mr. Lovable to Mr. Tough Guy because people come late to meetings and stuff. That's not what Mario's been about from the get-go,
Right.
His deal is a little different on Saturdays is his problem. It's not culture. He's actually fixed the culture. He's actually eliminated all the idiots. He's actually brought in kids that give a shit about playing football and playing hard and all that, because none of his kids quit and they sell out and all that. So it's just a matter of, making the right decisions, being sharp, all those kind of things. So for me, I have a lot more hope for Mario and for the Canes, because also fundamentally he plays football the way it's supposed to be played. You got to win at the line of scrimmage. So I have a lot more hope for what could happen with the Canes than I actually do with the Dolphins this year. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, the Hurricanes have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't think the Dolphins do. So right now on paper, I would say Clemson is clearly the best team in the ACC. They won the league last year. They got the majority of their guys back, a bunch of guys who are going to be NFL draft picks, first rounders. So to me, Clemson is a step ahead of Miami right now on paper. But you don't know how these transfers are going to work out. You don't know how Carson Beck is going to look with these receivers. Miami had the number one offense in the country last year. So, Mario's been building this thing the right way. We've talked about a lot on the show between the offensive and defensive line. He's picked up a bunch of studs. He's developing them. Those guys are getting older now. We'll see how they develop here in year 4 under Mario's leadership. But, without question, the Hurricanes are a much more entertaining team to talk about than the Dolphins right now.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yes. All right, so who are the big names that are coming this weekend?
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bunch of 5 stars. There aren't any 5 stars this weekend, but there are guys that Miami is definitely pushing for. We mentioned edge rusher being a need. Jaquez Wilkes from Alabama. Miami's fighting a couple SEC schools for him. Auburn and Texas A&M. Ashari Charles, he's a kid out of Venice. He's another edge rusher, 4-star edge rusher who Miami is in on. To me, I'd love to see the Hurricanes land one of those 2 guys, because you need pass rushers every single year, and right now they haven't landed any yet. Nolan Wilson is a defensive lineman out of Mississippi. He's the highest rated recruit here this weekend. Again, Miami pushing for those guys, but we won't know until basically a few more weeks, because that's when the commitments start. Guys start announcing who they're actually signing with. We'll find out. One big name to sort of monitor after this weekend is Javian Mallory. He's the running back out of West Boca Raton, was part of their state championship team. He took a visit to Alabama last week. He's been committed to Miami, but it's very interesting to see what Miami does at running back. It's obviously a very high-profile position, and Mallory committed to the Hurricanes earlier, but SEC schools are prodding, and the Hurricanes have other options. They obviously like Jay Lamar. They like Derek Cooper. Those are 2 guys that have come by quite a bit. Cooper's one of the most important recruits in South Florida. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if Mallory decommits after this weekend, or he says he's definitely 100% in with the Canes.
All right, Diabell, quarterback recruiting. What's the deal? Because Carson Beck is only here for 1 year, so that's yeah.
Yeah, Diabell is the son of Raja Bell, for the people who don't know, and they had the Elite 11 quarterback competition out in California this past week, and Dia won. He was the MVP. Plays at Plantation American Heritage. Now, Dia's been committed to Texas for a long time. I don't see him flipping on the Longhorns and staying in South Florida. Steve Sarkisian does a tremendous job with quarterbacks. Obviously has Arch Manning there. Dia's been to Texas a bunch of times, so I don't think that's going to change. Miami's quarterback, though, their quarterback commitment, Darren Coleman, was in California for the Elite 11 camp. Didn't win the MVP, obviously. But people who were there told me that he looked phenomenal, has probably the quickest release of all the quarterbacks in that were there competing. And Darian's just a super athlete. To me, he is another version of Cam Ward. You watch him throw the football, you watch him just the athleticism, the ability to evade pressure, to look cool and calm in the pocket. Those are skills. He's a new age quarterback, Big O, Darian Coleman is. And to me, he is the future of that position. Miami is very happy with him. He is the quarterback committed in this class.
Is he a son of anybody?
Well, yes, I'm sure his family.
Oh,
I mean,
not
a famous athlete.
Because
But
I know several Coleman athletes, so I'm wondering, is this an
out
offspring
out
one-
of the Orlando area, no, he is
Derek
not.
Coleman's? Is this Derek Coleman's kid? Let's put it that way.
No, it's not. I've seen his parents. It's not Derek Coleman's kid for sure.
All right, no, it's not 6'9". His dad,
He's
you know.
not. No. And that's the thing with him. He's not very big in terms of height, but the athleticism, the raw ability, he is the future of that quarterback position, and just super talented. I went out and watched him. Was it 2 summers ago when he was
Mhm.
only a sophomore? And I was, hyping him up, saying, "Man, this guy's really good." I think at the time he was looking to go to Oklahoma. Oklahoma dropped the ball with him. Miami pounced, and the rest is history.
All right, good stuff. What do you got going on in the Athletic?
Yeah, I ranked the top 25 players in the ACC. I did my complete league breakdown, man. And so I have a really good grasp, I feel, going into the season. I'm going to start doing some podcasts now, talking about the ACC and the league going forward because I've done my homework. SEC is next, Big 10 and Big 12 after that. So I do my own assessments every single year. Now that all the transfer portal crap and movement is pretty much over, it's the time for me to dig in and really break these teams down. I think Miami is clearly the second best team on paper in the ACC. I think after them, it's either Louisville or Georgia Tech that are the next best teams. So I'll have plenty of preview stuff here.
No SMU. They lost too much.
SMU lost a lot of guys on both sides of the ball. I think they're a top 5 team in the league, but I think on paper I look at Louisville and Georgia Tech and say they've got more coming back that was part of their winning, and they were both good teams last year. Georgia Tech, of course, almost beat Georgia in that crazy overtime game. They've got Haynes King back. They picked up some guys in the portal. They lost some guys in the portal too, but I still think there's enough talent there, and Brent Key does a good job with his offensive and defensive line. So I think Georgia Tech is a contender, and so is Louisville. But right now, I think it should be Miami and Clemson in the ACC championship game.
Yeah, and let me tell you something again. Well, to give you for Canes fans out there, to give you positives. To me, everything is trending. I see the Dolphins going backwards now the last couple of years under McDaniel, whereas with Cristobal, I see improvement because last year he took a step back and he let his offensive coordinator be the offensive coordinator, and he let his quarterback be whatever personality his quarterback is, which I hope he does the same thing with Carson now. Will Carson be the gambler that Cam is? No, but at least let Carson be whoever he is and let the OC call the game the way he needs to call the game. And I didn't see a conservative approach. So to me, that was huge progress on behalf of Cristobal and the team. And then I see what you're doing, loading up the lines. And that's just going to make Carson a terrific quarterback overall. I actually see the Canes trending in the right direction where I don't see the other football team in town trending in the right direction. That's, to me, just to kind of throw. I don't know if you see the same thing with the Canes.
Yeah, to me, this is what Mario was brought in to do, because think about the mediocrity, right? You had all these different head coaches come in here, and they had 3 and 4 year runs where it was like, okay, they look like they're going to get to 10 wins, maybe compete for the ACC championship. Then they had some really bad, disappointing loss. I think the difference with Mario is his talent, that the talent acquisition is much better than I think the previous coaches. And and the transfer portal. Like the biggest knock on him was quarterback, right? Like he's not a good at quarterback. Well, he just had the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, and he's got another guy in Carson Beck who could potentially be a first rounder as well, who was being talked about as the best quarterback a year ago when he was at Georgia. So to me, you've addressed the elephant in the room, which was the quarterback position. And I think there's consistency in the coaching staff. In other words, yes, you changed defensive coordinator, but you got Shannon Dawson back for the 3rd year. And I think that matters in college football, to have some level of consistency among your coordinators and your assistant coaches. When there's too much turnover, there's too much chaos. And, the guys who left the program through the portal are not guys that were superstars. They're all, easily replaceable, didn't really produce type of guys. And so for those reasons, that's why things are trending in the right direction.
All right. Good shit. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What else is on the Athletic and on deck?
Yeah, I'm going to do the SEC breakdown, top 25 players. Everybody's been asking me about that one because they want to see who the real contenders are in that conference. And so, if you can read the ACC one, it just came out this morning. I got my top 25 list plus 10 other guys to watch. Only 3 Hurricanes on the list in terms of proven guys to me heading into the season. But I think by season's end, we'll see some more among the top 25, 35 players in the league.
Good shit. All right. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you as always. And don't forget to visit our friends at BigCheeseMiami.com. And don't forget to mention our name. Tell them that you heard it on the Big O Show. Hey, listen, they've been there for over 40 years. Pasta shipped in from Italy, cooked fresh daily. Those garlic rolls are to die for. So go check it out. 305-662-6855. They've got the party platters also. So if you want to have the party brought to you, then they can do that also at BigCheeseMiami.com, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. And the walls are loaded with Hurricanes memories of the last 40 years. It's really like a little Hall of Fame. You're really going to love it, man. And it's an institution. BigCheeseMiami.com. Be good, Manny.
You too, brother. Take care.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
All right. And by the way, you can also get some of your stuff at caneswear.com. Go visit our friends there. AJ Greer and Jonah Gadjevich, right? Gadjevich. Did I pronounce it right? Anyway, Monday, June 23rd, 5 to 6:30. Jonah and AJ will be there. So Gadjevich, you could get like that shirt with his face, have him sign it, frame it right there. That's a memory that'll last forever. It's a beautiful thing. So go visit our friends at Caneswear. By the way, if you're going to go for that or anything else, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. So you can save yourself a little money, honey. Okay. You can do it online also. And by the way, over $99, you will get free shipping. Okay.
Dale?
Yes, sir.
Just this morning or yesterday afternoon too, they announced Sasha Barkov will be there Tuesday, June 24th from 5:45 to 7:15. And Anton Lundell and Listerine will be there 6:23 from 2:15 to 3:45. So a couple more signings being added.
Wait a minute. So Barkov, June 24th, right?
Yes.
From what time to what time?
5:45 to 7:15.
And then Listerine and who else?
And Lundell.
Oh, my man. When?
That'll be June 23rd, Monday.
Oh, the same Monday with AJ Greer. From what time?
They'll be a little bit earlier. They'll be 2:15 to 3:45.
Wow, that place is going to be a madhouse.
And then Greer and Gajovic 5 to 6:30.
So, and you're going to get your Panther gear. Get it at Caneswear. Use our code BIG010. Get the 10% off. And then you can get it autographed or whatever you're going to do with it and all that good stuff. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Last night, Pacers got it done over OKC, 108-91. Series is tied at game 7 on Sunday. Okay, there we go. Pacers, by the way, are an 8.5-point underdog on the road. 215 is the over and under. Pacers plus 275 on the money line. OKC minus 345. All right. Inter Miami in a game that I did not see coming. Pleasantly surprised. That was nice. I got to say, Segovia's goal was a golazo. Got the top of the net there, snuck it right in. Anyway, Inter Miami beat Porto 2-1. Messi had the free kick also in the 54th minute. So Monday, they've already qualified, moving on with that win. So it really doesn't matter what happens on Monday. I think that's what it is with Palmeiras. So they have qualified, but that's pretty good news. So I like to see that overall. And I guess the only other news is Sam Bennett says that he's staying at Club 11 last night in a drunken stupor, celebrating with fans and his teammates. And I don't think you should take that as a fib. I think that'll be a fact when it's all said and done. And call our friends at 3A Graphics Sports for any kind of custom printing and embroidery that you need. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you as always. 786-618-1443. All right. Hateful Steve, thank you for the love on Venmo. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. He says, I agree. I don't think Marshawn wants to finish his career not living up to some massive contract somewhere where he has to produce big numbers, where he can live here and dominate on the third line, winning more titles. You know what? Steve only adds more layers to why it makes sense. That is so true. He doesn't need that shit. He's going to go to a lesser team that's going to give him more money and then all that at that age, where here he can be a cog in a powerful machine instead of, listen, look at McDavid. McDavid and Draisaitl have to carry the effing team because they don't have enough of a team. So then they get all the blame. It's kind of like what we do to quarterbacks. Anyway, thank you, Hateful Steve, as always, my brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, yo.
By the way, and it's during a dip, too. That's very nice because right now Bitcoin is in the 104s. So it made a nice little dip. So very nice. Yes, sir, Sean. I'm sorry.
Also, don't you think he's going to stay just because he's burned all the other bridges, thanking every team for all the trades of every player? He went through, I think, every team.
Another layer. Another layer. You and Steve just added layers to the whole thing. I mean, dude, I love everything that Ekblad has been, but he's been very injury prone, and it's sad. It sucks, but you got to part ways unless he wants to take a serious haircut. But maybe he doesn't, so you allow him to go out and explore, and then if he doesn't have that big offer somewhere, then he comes back for less money. I don't know. Amanda Medeiros, thank you for the love on the super chat. You probably did not listen to the show yesterday, but if you go to the show yesterday, or have you made that a rant yet, or is it coming yet? Have you made that a rant yet? It is on audio, I bet. You just haven't made it on
No,
video.
it's up on audio. I did not make a video rant of it.
Well, you could go to our audio, Amanda, and I explain why the Panthers are not a dynasty. Okay? And I thoroughly explain it. Why, in my book, no dynasty. Okay? Let's see what else. No respect to Bennett, who deserves a Conn Smythe, but the MVP of the Stanley Cup to me was Barkov, who did a great job against McDavid. I agree. If it was McDaniel, it would be a lot easier. But Rosendo, I just told you that Connor McDavid and Draisaitl get all the blame, and they have to carry the whole team. Your comment is exactly what I'm talking about on the opposite side, my brother. You could give the Conn Smythe to Bob. You can give it to Barkov. You could give it to Bennett. And you could give it to Marchand. There are 4 guys that I can give the Conn Smythe to. Are you really going to argue with me if I tell you Bob's the Conn Smythe? Are you really going to argue with me if it's Barkov because you know what he does offensively and defensively? Are you going to argue with me if it's Marchand? Are you going to argue with me if it's Bennett? Oh, by the way, why don't we give the Conn Smythe to Bill Zito? That's even better. Let's give the Conn Smythe to Vinny Viola. You see what I'm talking about? I can give that trophy to a bunch of people. Why don't we give it to Matt Caldwell? Without Matt Caldwell, okay, there is no Zito and there is no Paul. You know that? I'll give the Conn Smythe to Matt Caldwell. That's the beauty of this team, dude. It's so awesome. And then you've got not Conn Smythe, but you've got the Reinhardts and the Verhaeghes of the world and the Lusterines and the Lundells. I mean, this is stupid, bro. This is freaking ridiculous. Lundell is just going to grow up to be bigger and better and badder, and he's going to be another one of those effing monsters on this team. Like they're calling him already Baby Barkov and shit. It's just stupid how good this team is, how deep this team is. And not one of us, in all seriousness, would argue if those 4 players won the Conn Smythe. Why? If they would have given it to Marchand, nobody would have, oh, wow, Bennett really deserved it, but I can understand. Oh, they gave it to Bennett. Hey, Marchand deserved, but I can understand. Barkov, oh, shit, dude, what he did was amazing. Where are we without Bob? Nowhere. So, I don't know, dude. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful, man. Beautiful. It reminds me of the early Dolphins because as a kid, we would glamorize how great the offensive line was, how great the running backs were, how great the defense was, whether it was the line or the linebackers, or whether it was Jake Scott and his magic, or whether it was Shula and his mastery on the sidelines. Not Garros throwing the football. Well, that part, we can exclude. But everything else was all in there. And there are times when we marvel with teams because of they bring everything to the table. And that's what these Panthers are, man. They're just a force, like those Canes in the 90s to the early in the 80s to the early 90s. Then we had a gap, and then obviously the team of 01 was super dominant. Let's see, what else do we have? If the Dolphins ever win the Super Bowl again, the victory will be on the magnitude of an earthquake for South Florida. Yes, it will be, if it ever happens. Yep. Ocala Joe is late to the party, but I can see the chapboard is hot today. Let's smash and have a great day. Thank you, sir. Big O, how much did you bet on the Cats to win the cup? I bet a nice chunk, and I got an even bigger chunk for Bitcoin. So that's all I can tell you. Listen, first of all, I don't bet a ton and I don't make a ton. So I'm not one of those people. And even if I did, by the way, I still wouldn't be bragging about it. You know, that's not something that you do anyways. You know what I mean? Again, I don't anyway. I'm a working stiff. But yeah, I'm not the guy that goes bragging about that kind of stuff. That's not a good thing to do. Interesting tidbit. Did you know Connor McDavid was a first-round pick drafted by Edmonton in Sunrise, Florida, and 10 years later he loses Stanley Cup Finals in the same arena twice? Yeah. Yeah, it's almost amazing. It's almost as amazing as me learning that in Jaws, the two kids that had the fake fin and everybody's freaking out and then they're pointing the guns at the kids. And then the one kid says to his brother, he made me do it. He is now Brody there on the island because he was an extra. And now he replaced Brody in real life. I saw that on Good Morning America. It's almost as amazing as that. Not as quite as amazing, but almost as amazing. Big O, the number of Panthers deserving the Conn Smythe playoff MVP just highlights the team concept that drives the Panthers. I say give the MVP to the entire Panther team. Yeah. When Maurice goes over at the end to tell, the fourth line, hey, guys, I want you on the ice in the last shift. That's an awareness that's just stupid, bro. That's just an awareness that you are conscious of where everybody is in this space. And just all that stuff, dude. It's when Marchand sees that Barkov hands the cup first to the guys that didn't win it. Yeah, I just kind of see the writing on the wall when it comes to certain things there for these guys. And you guys have all added some layers extra to the Marchand thing. I don't know how he leaves. I just don't know. It doesn't make any sense for him to leave at this point. Not at this age. Plus, aren't you supposed to retire in Florida? Isn't that a law? Big O, we need a fight song like we had for the Dolphins. No, they just do the real fighting. They don't need a song. Yeah. And they don't really need any gimmicks. They bring the real deal to the table, which is just absolutely beautiful. But if you could come up with one, the problem is the names will change, and so you got to be careful on how you do it. Yeah, you're right, Ted. He did have a hell of a task. Big O Perdomo Cigar, happy birthday to Jaws, 50 years. Yeah, man. Amazing. Both McDavid and Draisaitl looked gassed by the last two games. No wonder, since the Oilers played and depended on them far too much. Yeah. And that's where, have you seen, by the way, the rookie fans that are out there? Oh, the Panthers are going to get Connor McDavid. They're going to trade a whole that's not what the Panthers do. That's where the people that don't follow the team and they just got on the bandwagon, they really don't they're doing the Dolphin thing, the Heat thing, that they want to go out and get one star. And that's not what the Panthers are about. In fact, some of these guys have become stars here. Okay? Like the aforementioned Sam Bennett became a star here, and Reinhardt became a star here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, it just kind of doesn't make sense. You know, they're not going to go out and trade the world. Have you seen that, Sean? People talking about how the Panthers are going to go trade for Connor McDavid. And it's like, dude, you don't understand what's going on here. They're not breaking up what they have going on right now. They're not going to disturb the groove. They're perfect right now. They're a juggernaut. Nobody wants to deal with them. They don't want to play them. They hate playing the Panthers for 7 straight games. It's insanity. By the way, Acura Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you. Larry Schlossberg and all the boys out there. By the way, they've got a service center. Mike Chan, Jordan Ferber. So if you own or lease one, it's a pleasure to get your car serviced there. They got a terrific area where you can relax, a lounge. They've got tables there if you need to do some work, TVs if you want to watch TV. They've got a fridge with some complimentary water for you. It's on the far left corner. You'll see the fridge on the far left corner, and you can get your water there. They've got a little cafeteria, so if you're looking for a little pastelli action, sandwich, drink, whatever it is they've got going on, check it out. Keep you a little busy. There's like a Five Guys next door too, if you want to just walk over to Five Guys, like 50 feet away, right next to the dealership. You know what I mean? So they've got a couple places that you can eat. You know what I'm saying? So take advantage, folks. Come on out, relax. They've got the 17th anniversary sale going on right now in the 2025 Integra, $339 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The ZDX, you can get electrified, $439 a month, 0% financing for 72 months. The RDX, my lovely wife drives one every single day, $419 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. Go see them out there. Go see Larry Schlossberg, Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the amazing people, of course, getting it done at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. And remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. And of course, you can also help us get to Madrid. There you go. Make a donation there. We have a GoFundMe page. What do we have here? Amanda says, Marchand, 3 years and 18, 3 years, 18, and Bennett 8 for 8 sounds about right. Ekblad can go. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Yes, Brett. And hopefully they can fold them now. Andres liked the interview with Billy Lindsay. Thank you, sir. Well, Billy's a good dude. I've known him for 30 years. You know, I covered him. I was in the locker rooms covering Billy Lindsay in the Stanley Cup run. I had a mic in his face the day he made that amazing goal and all of that. He's just a good dude. Oh, that Panther team was just loaded with good dudes, bro. And look at them now. Hockey players are just good dudes in general. Costa says, in the South Florida Cuban community being outnumbered by South Americans such as Argentines. I don't know if it is or not at this point, but I can tell you that the Cuban culture is alive and well and in place, and there's no doubt it has an effect to our celebrations. No doubt in my mind. What else we have? Dinner decision: Chick-fil-A or El Toro Loco Churrasqueria. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Churrasqueria. We should make Furones the Panther Insider. As long as you don't make Poupart the Panther Insider, because then we'll go back to not accomplishing anything. Let's see. 19 years old, 2006 championship. Jesus. Big O, can we please give a victory cigar to the old man? Oh, yes. You know what, Oscar? You are correct. We got to give a victory cigar to Inter Miami last night, or yesterday afternoon against Porto FC or FC Porto. I thought we were going to lose like 4-0, 4-1, 5-1. I thought it was going to be an absolute slaughter too. I got to be honest. I was expecting an embarrassment. I was expecting a bad outing, and last night, the Messi free kick, we've seen that before. He's amazing, and that was fantastic. But the Segovia one, okay, that was a golazo. That was a golazo. I don't know if he'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of feel like we got a little bit of a break, but I'll take it, man. I'll take it, and I'll take the victory. Congratulations to Inter Miami. This is a bogus tournament. The tournament don't mean shit to me, but it's good competition for Inter Miami. Oh, and by the way, Inter Miami yesterday also was making history. They made history in the MLS last year, but they also made history yesterday because they became like one of the first American teams to let me find the stat for you, because I thought it was an awesome stat that I saw yesterday. And let me make sure I read it correctly, so that way I don't give you guys the inaccurate information. But I thought it was super cool. Inter Miami's win, they were the first. It was a first for a CONCACAF team against a European team in a FIFA club competition. No CONCACAF team had ever won against a European team in a FIFA club competition. Inter's the first one. Inter also became the first team from the USA to win a match in a FIFA club tournament. So big day for Major League Soccer, and amazing that happened yesterday. Again, I was dead wrong yesterday. I have no problem telling you when I'm wrong and when I'm right. And man, I was wrong. Give them a victory cigar. All right. Let's see. What else? Poupart can be the Marlins beat writer and get off the Dolphins beat. Yeah, that might help. What else? Just finished purchasing a Panthers championship jersey from last year from Caneswear, supporting your sponsors and getting that 10% off. Thank you, Oscar Rojas. And good for you. You got a jersey. That is awesome. Awesome. And thank you for using our code. Might as well, right? Get 10% off, dude. What the hell? The first international call was between Key West to Cuba on November 2nd, 1877. Yeah, really? That's insanity. I didn't know that. Cats are just great right now. They just beat you down. Fun to watch. Oh, let's see. All right. What else do we have going on? All right. So we talked about Sam Bennett not leaving. We talked about Brad Marchand, who I think is going to end up staying. The Heat, by the way, it's twisted, but they're on the brink of being in the Durant sweepstakes. And it seems like by default, because it's not like the Spurs really want him. The Knicks don't want him at all. He doesn't want to go to Minnesota. So Houston and Miami are the only teams really left that want Durant and are stupid enough to give him the extension. But neither one is offering enough to part ways for Phoenix right now. So they need to up the offer in order to make it happen. Now, if I'm Durant, you're coming to Miami because you're getting paid. You're not going to win anything. I would go to Houston if I really want to win. They have a better nucleus. They have a better team, better chance. My eyes, Bam and Tyler are not the answer. Never have been. Okay? Bam is probably now better suited to be a 4. Not even a top 3 anymore because of his inconsistent offense. Okay? So for me, I'm going to tell you something that is, as some of you can't handle it with the Dolphins. But you sign Durant, and to me, this season's going to be boring as hell. Predictable and boring. And you Heat fans that want this, you're desperately hanging on to being somewhat relevant. And then you hear this silly argument. Well, the East isn't that strong and you have a chance. You have a chance at what? Embarrassing yourself in the finals? I've seen the Heat do that before. I've seen the Dolphins do that before too. Why? Because your conference happens to be weak. So, hey, guys, if we build a good enough team and Spo coaches his ass off, we might be lucky and get out of the Eastern Conference just to get embarrassed in the finals. And I know some of you are going, well, you just never know what will happen when you get there. Give me a break, dude. I am just going to be so bored and done with the Heat if they don't rebuild. If they're going to stick with this plan that Bam and Tyler, and what we need to do is go get a third wheel, and with Durant, we're contenders or something, which is just asinine. I am going to be so bored with the Heat season. I am going to be like, who cares, dude? So predictable. You know exactly what to expect and what's going to happen. They're not going to get anywhere. And all you're going to have is bullshit buildup by writers because they're hanging on to selling papers and clicks. But in the end, it's a shit show. You get Durant, you're not going anywhere. And you're not going anywhere not because of Durant. It's because Bam and Tyler are not the answer. Never have been. They don't have any cojones. They don't show up in big moments. Just terrible, dude. Really terrible. Really terrible. But whatever. If that's what you guys want to do. And, at first I understood with Riley because he's at the, end of his run as a general manager. He can't be around forever, as much as I would love for it. But I think his desperation has kind of ruined it all because he's not willing to use the proper patience to really do what you have to do, which is a complete reset. What a shame, dude. What a shame. And again, I don't want Riley to go anywhere. I want him to, leave whenever the hell he wants to leave, but I would like for him to figure this out, and it just doesn't look like he's figuring it out. So, relevancy doesn't equal championships. The Heat are only concerned about putting butts in seats in the arena. They're doing things backwards. Look at Indiana and OKC. They've done it the right way. Lenny, on this show, we'll call out stupidity like Skylar did, saying stupid shit. But when you say something that makes a lot of sense, what can we say? Brooklyn Rob, why all the clamoring for a guy who is old and plays no defense? Brooklyn Rob, what can I tell you? Common sense instead of dumb sense like we got from Skylar today. Big O, I know we don't have the assets again. I know we don't have I am just curious if you would do this. Would you trade to get the thug wannabe gangster often injured John Morant? The problem is to trade for John Morant, you're probably going to have to give up a bunch of stuff, and then you'll have nothing around him. It'll be fun to have him, but he's a problem child. And he refuses to grow up. Is that what you want to hang your hat on if you're the Heat organization? Dude, Alonzo Mourning, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. These are people that you've made faces of your franchise, and they're good human beings. You took a chance on Jimmy Butler, and look how it ended up. I know he's super talented, dude. I love his ability. I wanted Ja over Fat Boy. I was never a Fat Boy guy. And I was right until I was wrong now. Well, I'm never wrong on that one because Ja was still a better pick over Fat Boy. But Ja has turned out sour too now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Memphis is going to get rid of everybody. Magic just acquired one of their guys. So, and by the way, the Magic paid a lot. But that's the price you have to pay nowadays for young players. Was it too much? Yeah. But the Magic's window is now. So they're going for it. They've got a nice nucleus. He adds a piece to what they do, an element that they need. Scoring, facilitating, defending. He kind of helps out in different areas. So I get it. And this is the going rate when you look at the league. You end up overpaying for these guys. Might work out. But for the Heat, you're hanging on to be just desperate, man. I don't know. I just really disappointed. Really disappointed. What else do we have here? Trade Bam for the number 2 pick and other picks. I don't think anybody would give up the number 2 pick for Bam. So Julio, I think you're overvaluing Bam, but we got it. I really don't want Durant. He's at the end of his career. Well, that's kind of the way it goes, Chris. That's what they want. You know? What else? 6 NBA finals in 12 years. Yeah, butts in seats. No, that's what they're doing now. He's not willing to take a complete setback because he knows people won't show up and they'll make less money. He's right about butts in seats. That's all they're worried about right now. This is definitely Mickey influenced in a way. Yeah, they're trying to stay somewhat relevant so they can sell that they're somewhat in the race or whatever. And, you know, obviously with Spo, you always have some kind of a chance, you know? So that's what they want to sell. But he's right. They're not willing to do the really hard stuff, which is reset the team. And in the end, you know, let me defend them a little bit in this sense, even though I completely disagree with what they're doing. The Heat have put themselves in a terrible position, okay? They had no foresight with Jimmy Butler. They ruined everything with Jimmy Butler. They were supposed to milk what they got. After that second trip to the finals, they had to trade him. And at that point, they would have gotten 4 or 5 first rounders because his reputation was repaired. It was perfect. He had led an underdog team twice to the finals. Nothing had fallen apart, no relationship, no nothing. You part ways at that moment, you can start a rebuild because you have a mass of amount of picks. So now you're good. But now you lost out on that one. And then a year passes where, you know, you have the issues and you didn't move them again. And you give them the extension. And that's where you have your problems now. So now you're not getting much. And then, like this gentleman wants to trade Bam for the second, you're not going to get that. You'll probably get a couple first rounders, but later first rounders, not the second overall pick. I don't believe you'll get that for Bam. So if you can't get that, maybe that's why they don't want to do a complete reset because they're not going to get enough assets in return for Bam and Tyler now at this point. So that's the part that I might be able to defend what they're doing because it's either hanging on to being relevant or we have screwed up so much we can't amass enough picks to start a rebuild. That's where they're at, dude. Why do you think I keep pointing out that the last 10 years of the Miami Heat and the front office, love them, but bro, you guys couldn't be more mediocre. It's amazing. It's one bad move after another, after another, after another. That's all. Morant plus his immature dad plus Jaws crew in South Beach don't make a good mix. Exactly, Lenny. Exactly. You can't stay on top forever. He just rebuild. It'll be okay. Yeah, but now they've got a longer rebuild. Now they've got to go through several years of losing and high picks instead of 1 or 2 years of losing with a bunch of picks and then let's reset quickly and turn it around because they have waited so long. And they continue waiting, by the way, if they're going to hang on to Bam and Tyler, your value just dies out completely like it did with Jimmy Butler. So, You know, Riles, I trust. Well, lately, I trust for him to do the wrong thing. Again, it's up to him. He makes his call. He continues all he wants. He'll leave whenever he wants. I don't mind. But I'm not going to sit here and not point out that it's not going well and that the decisions are not good ones. They're constantly bad. So, and Brooklyn, Rob, you are correct. Riley never put stock in draft picks and young players. Yep. And now they don't have enough to turn it around. So, all the Heat need is 3 great players over the next 3 years. You need a good center that's good at scoring and rebounding. Yeah. And that's going to be so easy to get 3 great players. Oh, man. It's really a rough situation for the Heat. They're in a pretty much impossible situation. It's what most people don't understand. You know? Kind of sucks. But it is what it is, as they say. Let me do a little music here. Let's start off with musicians born on this date. All right. Chino Moreno. A little Deftones action, born in 1972 on this date. Murphy Cargis from Sugar Ray, born in 67. John Taylor, bassist and co-founder of Duran Duran, born in 1960 on this date. Kelly Johnson from Girls School. How about that? Born in 58. I remember Girls School. They had a little video running on MTV for a short time. They weren't anything. Vixen was a much better rock band, girl rock band than I always thought that Girls School was like this little what do we call this? Glam girl band. Bogus glam girl band. Like Vixen was a real band. You know what I'm saying? When you watch them, you got respect for what they bring to the table. The Iron Maidens, by the way, which is maybe the best looking female rock band on the planet, even though they only play Iron Maiden songs, but they do a great job. That Girls School just never gave me that real woman's vibe, like, real rocker chick. They didn't come off like the Runaways. Okay. So it just is what it is. Chris Francourt, a member of the Gibson Brothers. Isn't it interesting? We were talking about this. The Gibson Brothers. Chris Francourt. Cuba, quiero bailar la salsa. Born in 1954. The Gibson Brothers. All right. Michael Anthony, bassist for Van Halen, Chickenfoot, Circle. Couple of other bands there that he's been a part of. Born in 54, the great bassist who doesn't get enough credit. Just an absolute monster. Great bass player, and his harmonies that carried Van Halen's harmonies right there. He was the one guy that could sing on Van Halen. Alan Longmuir, born in 53 from the Bay City Rollers, Saturday, Night. Lionel Richie, born in 1949. Who else? Anne Murray, the Canadian singer, born in 46. Brian Wilson, we just lost him. The Beach Boys mastermind. And we just lost him 9 days before his birthday today. He would have been 83 today, Brian Wilson. Rest in peace. Dennis Buddemeyer. He was a rock guitarist and a part of the Wrecking Crew. If you want to see one of the great rockumentaries out there, it's called The Wrecking Crew. And if you're a big music historian, you're going to want to watch The Wrecking Crew and how important they were to Joni Mitchell and the Carpenters and Brian Wilson and Barbra Streisand and Frank Zappa, Linda Ronstadt, Dusty Springfield. Just goes on and on and on, and Fleetwood Mac and just Leonard Skinner, and just go see the Wrecking Crew movie. Okay, just go see it. Just go see it. All right, just go see it. You'll remember me. What else do we have? Billy Guy from the Coasters, born in 1936 on this date. Chet Atkins, guitarist. Recorded over 100 albums, Chet Atkins. Anyways, born in 1924 on this date. That is musicians. Now we go with other famous people born on this date. Remember, if we don't give the age, that means they are no longer with us because it's been a while. Actor Errol Flynn, little Robin Hood there. Born in 1909. Actor Martin Landau. Born in 1928. Actress Olympia Dukakis. Born in 1931. Flynn, Landau, Dukakis. Oh, shit. Here we go. Danny Aiello. Rest in peace. Dude, these are 4 actors that wow, wow, and wow, and wow. Wow. Anyway, Hall of Famer Len Dawson, born in 1935 on this date. TV handyman Bob Vila, born in 1946. He is 79 today. Who else is celebrating birthdays? Nicole Kidman, born in 1967. She is 58. Musician Twiggy Ramirez, born in 1971, 54 today. From Marilyn Manson and Perfect Circle. Who else? Grace Potter, musician, born in 1983. She's 42. And that is it. Sean Stanley, sir, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir. Don West was born on this date in 1963. J.R. Kratos turns 43. Jessica Havoc is 39. The Birdman, Coco Beware, turns 68. Mr. Gnuske turns 57. UFC and TNA star Rampage Jackson turns 47. Those are your birthdays for June 20th, 2025.
All right. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. As always, thank you all out there. And remember, you can make a donation anytime you're listening to the show, watching it, whatever it is. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. We've got, let's see, I think we've got a little bit of dipness in the market right now. The regular market, the Dow is only up 62 points. The S&P is down almost 8. And the NASDAQ is barely up 0.33%. Did anything happen? I don't know. Anyway, I don't think anything happened. But I don't know if something that shocked the markets because they were up a little bit and then now they're barely up. So kind of interesting. Bitcoin is, by the way, still at 104. So Florida with 105, 106 today. And it went back into the 104 range. This is the 43rd day that Bitcoin is over 100,000. So that is, let's see, I tweeted this out yesterday. You got a war going on, wars going on. You've got oil rising. You've got silver going down. You've got gold going down. You've got investors completely baffled. They have no idea what to do because nobody knows what the tariffs are going to do. The feds won't move rates, okay, because they don't know what the tariffs are going to do because they have not settled on anything yet. They haven't settled on anything specific. So they have no data on it. And by the way, I agree with, normally Powell does everything either too early or too late. In this case, I actually agree with him, you know. So all of this going on, the dollar's going down, bond rates are going through the roof, the 10 and the 30 year. The dollar is weakening. People are dumping the dollar, yet Bitcoin is holding strong as hell. Interesting. The asset that some think is too volatile is actually the one that is not volatile in a very volatile time. Anybody thought about that? No, of course not. But very, very interesting. Bitcoin holding strong, man. Strong. And everything else is suffering. Okay? That, my friends, is something that you should focus in on. Because everything else is having a rough one, as they say. Okay? All right. What else do we have going on? I'm investing all my money in banks, savings accounts, and stocks. I can't lose. Good one. I like that. I like that. Happy birthday to an underrated actor, John Goodman. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. John Goodman's a hell of an actor. Michael Anthony has a great voice, and I like his Jack Daniels bass guitar. Really cool. Yeah, that is a very good bass guitar. What else? Just as long as you don't mess with petroleum supplies. Well, Cork Island hasn't been hit yet. And by the way, the Iranians threatening to block the Strait of Hormuz, they're not going to do that, bro. They're not going to piss off their only ally in China that gets all their oil through there. And they keep promising big things are going to happen and nothing ever happens. Look, I got to tell you something. There's a lot of things I disagree that Biden does or now Trump. I don't like either guy. I'm not a fan of either guy. But I agree with this part. Wipe these idiots out. I'm almost 60, man. We've been dealing with Iran forever. They took our people hostage. And, you know, that we've been dealing with these assholes for a long time. You need to eliminate them and take them completely out of power. Everybody else around the region doesn't want those crazy bastards with a nuke. The Israelis and the U.S. will end up doing them a favor. And by the way, Trump already made his decision. He's going to drop that busting bunker bomb on their ass. He's just telling basically either you guys give up now or you're all dead. And that's it. That's basically. And by the way, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I don't agree with a lot of shit that guy does, like the tariffs and stuff, but whatever, bro. I'm all for the Iranians will come after the Israelis and they'll come after us. And if you give them any chance to get a nuclear weapon, that's not good for us. So it sucks. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to hold that on the orangutan. Oh, don't go to war. You said you wouldn't. You'd be negotiating. Well, these animals that run Iran, you can't negotiate with these animals. There is no negotiating. They only understand force. So it sucks, but you got to eliminate them already. You got no more ayatollahs running Iran. Just wipe them all out and then have them get a democratic regime in there, and then that's it. And then keep an eye on their ass from here on out. That's all. It's got to end, bro. It's got to end. Where, last 4 presidents have been promising to end this and they never ended. Got to end it already. So just me, I don't care. I'll give my opinion on this. And I don't have to agree with things that any of these presidents do because I don't like either side. But on this one, I'm good. I'm good with this one because that Iranian government, that's pure evil, bro. It's pure evil. So wipe their ass out. That's what I say. I don't know about you guys, but I say wipe their ass out. All right. All right, we're out of here. We thank the great Sean Stanley, as always, getting it done. Super stud, Sean Stanley. We thank all of you out there for tuning in. We thank Manny Navarro. We thank David Furones, as always. Appreciate you all out there. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Keep stacking those sats as that dollar drops. Get that Bitcoin, baby. I am not a financial advisor.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.